My name is Royall and I'm from Birmingham in the United Kingdom. I've just graduated from my degree at the University of Leeds, and now I have moved to Addersfield to do a residency with Kunstzürichsüd for the duration of 2 months. I've been working on these different materials, and a lot of my work is thinking about how I can explore both very soft and delicate ways of applying material, but also these quite violent and harsh marks. This is work in progress. These are some studies, sketches, just very quick sketches, and this is a piece which is made by sort of adding and taking away materials. So I applied this and removed it, and I'm thinking about the colours and the textures, and then this is also being built up with these layers and using these sort of really soft elements of these inks, and then also these like scratchy marks here. So whilst I'm here, I am spending around 8 weeks to gather my impressions of Addersfield, the surrounding area, in a space that is very different to where I have lived and grown up in the UK. And I'm particularly collecting my impressions of the Sill River and the canton of Zurich. And during my time here, I will spend this time gathering materials and working in different ways and thinking about how the space influences my processes, my colour palette, and I will work towards an exhibition, a vernissage, at the end of my stay here. This is interfacing. I like to use non-traditional painting surfaces that are kind of delicate and fragile, and so these are work in progresses, but by having 2 layers there's this feeling of depth, and I can build up colour behind it on a layer behind as well. You can see through this surface, see behind there, and like these colours, and from different angles you can see the marks on the surface behind. So I have just moved into this really beautiful studio here, and working alongside other artists in this space is really inspiring for me to see how these experienced artists' processes and talking to them and working alongside them might influence my own.
Ja, liebe Kunstinteressierte, unser Verein Kunstzürichsüd ist sehr vielfältig. Auf der einen Seite zeigen wir in unserer Galerie jeden Monat eine neue Ausstellung zeigen. Wir haben aber auch ein Gemeinschaftsatelier, wo sehr viel passiert. Wir haben ja über 100 Mitglieder, Teil davon arbeiten regelmäßig dort. Ein Passivmitglied hat uns die Idee gebracht, wir könnten doch einmal jemanden einladen. Eine junge Engländerin haben wir dann eingeladen, für 2 Monate zu uns zu kommen, für einen künstlerischen Austausch. Und sie hat von uns Berechtigung gehabt, jetzt 2 Monate hier zu arbeiten, und wir haben ihr auch den Zugang zu allen 100 Mitgliedern gegeben.
My goal is to, first of all, to meet lots of new artists, to spend lots of time gathering ideas and impressions based on the different ways that people might work to me. I want to learn more about this canton and this space, and more about the institution here at Kunstzürichsüd, and how that might differ to my experiences in the UK. And I also want to produce work that is specifically related to the space here in Addersfield.
Ich bin jetzt seit etwa 2-3 Jahren Passivmitglied im Verein Kunstzürichsüd Addersfield. Und ich lebe da seit mehr als 10 Jahren. das ist eine lange Zeit, in der ich mich immer wieder mit Kunst auseinandergesetzt habe und habe gefunden, das sind Leute, die auch wirklich ihr Herzblut drin investieren und es wird sich lohnen, das Projekt zu machen.
After the first month in Switzerland, I feel like, especially in the past kind of week or so, I've really gained in confidence and I've really started to feel like I can navigate myself in a very independent way in this new space. And I've really been reflecting a lot on myself and how that is intertwined with the environment and thinking about that, which has really driven my practice conceptually.
Lauren habe ich in der Ferien kennengelernt, im Ausgang. Und ja, wir haben uns miteinander unterhalten und sie hat mir dann erzählt, dass sie Kunst studiert in England, in Leeds. Und ja, so ist dann das dazu gekommen, dass die Idee ist entstanden, sie könnte doch da auf Adliswil kommen, wenn sie mit dem Studium fertig ist. Und wenn sie Lust und Zeit hat, dann können wir da miteinander das Projekt machen.
So I've been working on creating these abstract ceramic shapes at the ceramics studio, and this here is kind of produced by a combination of glazes, and really that surprise of not knowing how they will turn out and the colours will interact with each other. So those layers really explore this idea of kind of fluidity that I've been looking at in both the environment and surroundings and my identity as well. And then kind of also in this similar way, I've been producing these pieces I'm working with like much bigger abstract shapes. And for me, this feels kind of like both very bodily and both very kind of, it's almost like anatomical and environmental. And I'm really enjoying this kind of green colour, which you can see also in sort of some of these pieces here. So this is like a study that is on the poster. And I've been beginning to experiment with how I can present things with these kind of frames, but I also love this kind of contrast with these frames and then this very like raw way of displaying something where it feels quite sculptural on the wall. And then I really like to fragment pieces of work as I make them. So this piece here was originally a drawing which I sort of tore apart and thought about how compositionally I could explore a new way of presenting those elements of that drawing with the cropping. I also have been looking at this material here, which was originally a scarf, and I used this to create a print, which I'll show you in a moment, and I use this to create a print. So I'm thinking about how the material itself can be used to produce lots of different pieces. In a similar way, this is also a print here, which was produced by, applying this material and removing it. And I'm experimenting with how, we can, in the expanded field of painting, with how canvases could be utilised to make more sculptural work. I've been meeting and communicating with the artists who are working here in the atelier or who are a part of Kunstzürichsüd, and I have also been connecting with artists beyond Adliswil, so artists in Zurich, and I have plans to meet artists beyond this area as well, so artists connected to the institution, for example Patricia Wolf in Munich, and I have been reaching out to different galleries and to individuals to try and really connect with them and invite as many people as I can to my exhibition and to learn from their practices as well as their own. I'm also going to be meeting with an artist, Ellen, who was part of the institution here, and she is a young artist in Zurich and has similar kind of drives and materials that she uses within her practice. So yeah, it's been really great to try and connect with as many people as possible in the time I'm here.
Und am Ende von diesen 2 Monaten, also jetzt dann im September, gibt es einen Workshop und es gibt eine Atelier-Vernissage, also eine Ausstellung, und dann ist fertig. Und dann geht sie wieder retour.
And then this is the print that I was talking about. So this was produced from that piece of material, and now I'm just intervening with drawing on top of that. And so all of these things I'm gonna bring together and decide how I can consider what works together in the space for the final exhibition, and what will be in and what won't, and how I will present all these pieces, sculptures, and some things which are kind of in between painting and sculpture. My name is Lauren, and today I'll be running the workshop for you, obviously. And I have been here for nearly 2 months now, doing a residency here. What we're going to do to get started is, what we've got here is it's called graphite transfer paper. And so this is something which is quite nice I use sometimes to draw, because it kind of detaches you a little bit from the page, because you can't see necessarily what you're drawing. And you can use, like, say, your brushes. And what I'm going to do here is just use this surface and just think about how I can use these different things. Maybe you might want to try using a stick, or even like the side of this, just be experimental and think about, okay, these different marks that you can create onto your page using this object here. So just have a little explore with that and see, you know, what you can do there. It's like veins or something. And then what we can also try is, with this kind of technique, just thinking about different surfaces. So say if you use then tracing paper, how might that, as a translucent surface, then how might this take that pigment in a different way? Because it's like, you know, very watery. So I'm going to just pop some sheets. This is, anyone recognize this? Maybe more like familiar. So it's what it's used for is it's like cheesecloth. So it's used muslin cheesecloth. So they use it to like squeeze out the, yeah. No worries, well thank you. I hope you had oh, that's nice. That's so sweet, guys.
Ich habe neue Ideen bekommen, sehr viel Inspiration.
Ich könnte das jede Woche machen.
Ich habe es mega genossen. Ich habe das Gefühl, es war ein sehr wertvoller Austausch.
Das hat mir sehr gut gefallen.
Wir haben viel Spaß gehabt, alles war toll, wunderbar.
Lauren hat das super gemacht, experimentieren ist sowieso mein Ding. Lässig gewesen. Schönen Abend.
Hello, and today is the opening of Spilling Through the Cracks. It is the 27th of September and it is the end of my stay here at Kunstzürichsüd in Addersfield. And so just to kind of show you the space, the exhibition is at the Atelier where I have worked, and I've curated the works within the whole of the space. And so I have works like this, exploring materials and working outside of the canvas frame. This was influenced by a performance I went to see by an artist, Heidi, and these works here are paintings, and they're kind of looking at that a feeling of fluidity, but also kind of this sense of violence and this influence of the river. And then these ceramics I made, this collection, they're all using the same mixture of glazes. I really like this feeling of like a quite vibrant orange that's contrasted with this softness and the texture of marks on the clay. And these pieces, for instance, this is the drawing on the poster, spilling through the cracks, and I really like to display things kind of unframed with this raw feeling with the clips, and even here just using tape to apply something to the wall. And this piece is titled Limit Repose, and again it's looking at this idea of the fluidness. There's this kind of fleshy bodily feel, as well as this feeling of like it being quite earthy. And these are also water studies influenced by the kind of shoreline and the bed of the river. And then over here, I have these my sketchbook and pieces of like processes and books and elements of different things I've collected and found objects, because I really wanted people to also be able to see my processes during my time here.
Ja, die 2 Monate vom Besuch von der Laura in Royall sind vorbei. Es ist ein Fazit, das man sagen könnte, es war durchwegs positiv gewesen. Sie hat sich inspirieren lassen durch unsere Künstler, und sie hat aber auch unsere Künstler inspiriert. Wir hatten auch eine tolle Zusammenarbeit gehabt, die fruchtbar war und für alle eigentlich etwas Positives gebracht hat. Die Künstlerin konnte Ideen sammeln, sie konnte Materialien sammeln, die sie da bei uns kennengelernt hat, und das wird sie in der Zukunft begleiten. Wir machen aber auch sonst sehr viel in diesem Atelier. Wir lassen Künstlerinnen und Künstler auch hier malen lassen, die sich das nicht leisten könnten. Und mit dem ganzen Verein haben wir auch eine sehr grosse Aufgabe in der Integration von Leuten, die aus allen Herren Ländern kommen. Und die haben bei uns eine Chance, sich über Kunst bei uns in unserem Land zu integrieren.
After I leave here and my residency and my 2 months that I've spent here in Switzerland, I am returning to England, and so I have really, I've found this experience very crazy in a lot of ways, very difficult and challenging, but also I've learned so much about the art world, and I'm going to go back to England and spend a little bit of time there. I'm really keen to apply for different residencies that will take place in different places, say inside the UK and outside of the UK. And so yeah, I guess I don't have a major plan, but to just keep making art in any way I can.